as shown in the last video. There's the pier down there. We're going to be measuring up from it to approximately here, measuring out the 6 meters, put a pin, measure up 9 meters, come out 6, put a pin, and then we're going to square our house off of that. I'm going to measure up off our road from that point down there to it's just there. Mark on the wall, job done. So I'm going to measure back from this wall our distance to there. I'm going to put a pin in there. Please like, subscribe and share. Thank you. It's pin number 1. So to get pin number 2, I'm going to measure up from pin number 1. Our house is 9.2 meters wide, so we find 9.2 on our tape. We then take a second tape out. We're 5 meters out from the wall, and where 5 meters meets 9.2, you put pin number 2. Here I am, just doing a wee quick spot check then, double checking to make sure that both pins are at 5 meters from the wall, giving us our parallel line. And it's 100%, so that's our 2 reference points set out. We can now set our house out off of that. We get our third pin. You can see me walking down here. I'd walk down and measure out 15.2, which is the width of our house. You can see my father here putting tape on to pin number 2. He'd walk down to find this diagonal. Basically it's a right angle triangle, so you're finding the hypotenuse. You use Pythagoras theorem to work this out. I've worked this out to be 7 meters 767 millimeters. So we're 17 meters 767 millimeters meets 15.2 meters on the tape. You drill it and put a pin where the 2 tapes meet, which is 50. So to get pin number 4, all we have to do, because we found a perfect right angle triangle, you need to come up to pin number 2 and measure across to pin number 4, which will be 15.2 meters. I then take my tape to pin number 3 and measure from pin number 3, and we're up 9.2, and where it meets the tape at 15.2, that'll be pin number 4. So we now have a perfect square, well, rectangle house. It's set out perfectly square. That's it, the job's done. We can start setting out the internal walls and set out the sunroom at the back of the house. So before I go any further at this stage, this is just me double checking all my measurements. Checking 15.2 here. I'm checking my diagonal for 17.767. I'm checking this gable for 9.2, which is all good. So far they've all added up. Doesn't hurt to do a quick check at this time, in case you've made a mistake. So to check our other 3 measurements, I need to switch the tape over. Again, checking this for 15.2. Spot on. Your tape should always be down level to the ground. You can see here there's a bit of a rise, but I've allowed for that. But if you're inexperienced, always keep a tape as level as possible, because it will give you indiscrepancies in your measurements. So 17.767, perfect. Now down to the last gable to check for 9.2, and it's 100%. Doesn't hurt to check. If you're starting at this stage, this is where it goes right or it goes wrong. If you start right, it'll continue to be right. If you make a mistake and the house is off the square, there will just be a major amount of problems the whole way through. Especially if you're doing a timber frame, there's no real sorting it out. So we always use lime to mark our walls. I've set out the outside of the house here, so you'll need to step in to the center of your wall. Our cavity is 150mm timber frame, a 50mm cavity on a 100mm block, which gives us 300 overall. So we will be coming to the center of our wall, so you measure in 150, and both sides you can use your tape as a line, and then basically you just line it straight. So that's the center of your dig. It'll be the center of your bucket on your digger. Here's a quick time lapse of liming all the walls. Again, at this point my battery went dead, so I didn't get the full setting out, but I did a video the next day showing a summary of everything. You can see that on the next video, how to get the rest of it. Thank you.